Okay, that's good to know. And then, what is it that candidates maybe think that's important in the hiring process that actually isn't really that important from your perspective?
What do they think matters that actually doesn't? There's things that come to mind, but I'm not sure if I want to say, like, for me, well, I don't really care if they've worked in a lower mid-level role at a FANG company. It doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, I don't like when people put X Meta, X Uber, X on their LinkedIn. Like, I mean, if I drove for Uber in 2015, am I ex Uber? Like, so I technically, I guess I could do that, but I don't really care about that. I care about like the individual impact that people make, not necessarily the jerseys they wear. I'll say something. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't think that where you got a degree from matters as much anymore. So long as you have, if a degree is important to have it, is more important than where you got it. I think that in the upper echelons of the academic world, and at least in the United States, I think there are doors that can get opened for you through that network. But I've worked at Ivy League institutions before, and I think that the network is where there's a lot of value for that. But now I'm in recruiting. Like, I've hired some amazing people I'm down the street from the largest state school in the country, and I think it's some of the highest impact people. I mean, half of our leadership team ASU grads. I mean, we're not specifically going to look and hire from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford. I mean, of course, that does signal that those places are hard to get into.
Yeah.
I get that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a better fit. I think there's a lot. I think maybe people index on education too much.
Okay.
To have a 4-year degree, I think, is better in a lot of cases still today. But I don't know. I don't want to get too far into that.
So I guess if I was to kind of to play that back, sounds like you're not necessarily too concerned about the pedigree or the brand of the institution or the company they work for. You're more looking at what did they do at those places, and are those things that they did meaningful to the current role in the company that you're hiring for?
And I'll give you an example. I've done an intake for a leader, like an intake of a role for a leader, and they've listed out all these things that they wanted that were all behavioral. They would say, I want someone that has a degree from X type of school in this, and that they have X number. And then I said, well, tell me what's going to make this person successful, because that's paper. Like, that's what's on paper. Tell me what's going to make this person successful. And they went full behavioral on the profile. And they're like, what do you think we're going to find this person? So honestly, what you've described, I'm going to take my car and I'm going to drive over to Camp Pendleton, because we need to hire someone that's just coming out of the Marine Corps. That's the exact behavior you described. I said, you don't need someone from X school. So what you just described is exactly the profile of some people that I've known that have exited the military and have struggled to find jobs. Yeah. I know that because that is a world that, we can get into that, but like, some of those people that come from diverse backgrounds are overlooked when they have all of those behavioral competencies that companies want.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of get worked up, because I just remember saying that to them. I said, you need a Marine or someone that's just coming off of a ship in the Navy that, or like that is the profile you want, or somebody that's ascended in, has worked their ass off to get to the pinnacle of perhaps some sort of artistic endeavor, like somebody that's like had to kick down doors to find their way to something. Like, that's what this person needed. Not, I think they had made up in their mind that they needed something pedigree in the background. It's like, no, man, that was my joke. I said, I'm driving to Pendleton tonight and I'm going to hang out at the bar and meet somebody that's exited the Marine Corps.